unfortunately, or fortunately, I always say that, like, you know, darn, but also maybe it's a good thing. I don't know yet. I have to remove a visual here because it is of the board of directors zoom shot, but that's what I was doing. Boom, 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 that camera noise, because I thought might as well, if I'm triggering, try to remove something. So the technology has helped me remove something we'll call non-consent film, non-consent photo, non-consent media. I don't know. When people make threats like that, it's really jarring. And I guess it's super duper common. So there's a ton of video and photos of me now because I removed it. The most important one was a house party in Tampa. So I don't remember exactly where this goes, but I do know that it matches a podcast, I believe. And so I'm going to put this on the YouTube because it's the visual. I worked really hard at getting rid of the visuals. We'll continue to do so. I'm not really sure what's in it, to be honest. It's too far away. Let me see when I created it, and that will really help to know the memory issue. So get info, which is a great little tool. August 12th. Wait, today's August 12th. I made this today at 12:40 p.m. Well, today's August 12th at 12:40. Weird. So I made this afternoon. Okay, I don't remember. That's our in-between time. So I'm looking at the clock. I heard the word in-between time, which is vocabulary. That's composition 8. Words better than great. All right, I'm going to start writing this curriculum. And here's some little shots of my office. Yeah, we got to love more. Duh.
Originally, I was going to listen to all of this again and add all these visuals to have it be a iCloud storage cloud. So if I ever needed to go back to it, but why do I have to do that? I don't think I do anymore. Here's Larry and the ADA swing at Ward Park as well as Sunshine Park. So I can just talk about it and write about it. So instead I'm going to use the visuals that I did plop in. Since they don't match anyway, I'm going to try to explain it, trying to figure out what's the best way to do this project with limited capacity. So I'm just going to use the visuals to help guide me and just, yeah, right there. So that's where we delete it. And then we'll see how much we have left, and then whatever is there will be there, and whatever is not. And this is kind of memorizing. Nope, this is kind of mimicking how brain concussion and traumatic brain injury works with memory, with storage, or just how the universe, everything's lost. Again, I can't explain this very well.
This stuff is buzzing inside. That's why if you heard that rapidity of speech, then you know I was actually having a PTSD trigger. My endocrine system wasn't working. I wasn't sweating. I wasn't able to screw this. Just know that I'd never forget what I'm about to say. I was 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of my students each and every day. Anyway, just know that that was the way to practice breathing, because I would talk. Big inhale of breath. That means I'm not going to pass out. The worst thing that has ever happened to me was literally...
So I'm in the moment with this, so literally it wasn't the worst thing.
Passing out on the streets of Chicago. I don't even know how it happened. I thought it was dizziness, but...
This stuck with me for so long. My safety was completely in jeopardy from this injury. Anyway, I changed immediately. I realized the way you look is really
who rescues you? And that's where the fear started. So I knew that I was going to have to make decisions to stay safe in this city, because in this city, oh my God, I do not trust the city of Chicago. For a very short time, I had the summer of Jamie where I said yes to everything. Yes to going to that street festival. Yes to checking out something new. Like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I don't think so. So I have a list of places and spaces.
So here's the reflection. As I listen, I will discuss how the city of Chicago became the city of vice and all the weird shit that happened there because of the way I look, my race, and the origin being, well, somebody from middle school and high school. I rejected this person for the way they focus on my race. And that's why when I moved to Chicago for college, I kind of looked at it like, oh, you gave me a preview for something to look out for, like a warning. So the two lists will be the places in Chicago I repeated going to, both for my injury that became safe spaces for my endocrine system, and also I needed a pit stop both for resting and to also use the bathroom. And then in addition to that, the list of warnings that I was given. There's so many warnings that after this assault injury that I was made aware of. So thank you for those individuals. Because the first warning, like I said, I didn't know that it was a warning, but without them, I would not have realized, okay, I flipped it, not realizing that is literally what I do. Wow, I make everything ridiculous, everything kind of icky. Yeah.
And there it is. I heard it. Finally. No, we're not going to change society. We're not going to do anything like that.
The only thing I can do is just make decisions to abandon bits and pieces of this project and just focus on the paper trail in case they do come after me. And I say, well, here you go. This is the stuff that actually happened. It's a he said, she said, he said, she said, they said, society said, institutional abuse of power said, a school system said, a whole city said. Yeah, maybe this is the point where I just kind of give up on my dreams of making sure that my students can go out in the world and be accepted. The difference is okay. And then I'm realizing, wait a minute, because of Trump and JD Vance, again, exposing the system and all these pundits and individuals asking why, I don't get it. Why would someone do this? Well, they do it because we're stupid. We just are gullible. No, we're in shock. We can't believe this is happening. So we ask the question, why? But then pose the question to the people. Why do you think that way? Why did you just say that? They won't answer it. They'll deflect, get emotional, and these are the same behaviors. So no wonder American politics, the news was triggering. I don't watch mainstream news. I stated before injury, I read the paper. And I watched one show and one show only, PBS. But that's okay. Now it's over. It's over because we have the internet and we have right in front of us a clear choice. Money or morality and the bullying. But we do have a short life, so maybe people are thinking, what's the big deal? I'm going to be dead soon. And that's why you have to think about the next generations. And in order to think of the next generations, you have to think of the previous generations. This cycle of gratitude. And maybe that's where we start to admit, then okay, then that's the issue. It's not about the next generation. It's whatever you can get, all the stuff and all the fun times you can have. And that's the word, fun. How many times did this person say fun? And I'm like, that's fine, I guess, but does it have to be all the time fun? This is fun. Living in a world where we can't talk politics, has to be the weather, sports, and just the same. Let's just pause everything here. I'm gonna actually burn this video and start deleting the images before I get too far away from what I can remember, because I have to accept my brain works differently. And while I'm not anti-fun, it was just above all else. What about, hanging out with people that aren't fun, like your elderly relatives, the ones that later you spontaneously have conversation about? That just means out of the blue, you just start talking about something. And I was so surprised because this one particular person barely ever spoke to me. And the couple times that she did, I was in shock. This was after injury. And the conversation seriously was two things. I'll invite this person again so she can buy me shoes as they walked by this particular store on Clark Avenue in Lincoln Park. And then the conversation of how rich their grandma was, which again bubbled up during COVID when some individuals didn't seem to care about the elderly. And that is why, whoa, is it because of that inheritance comment? So what is this? And then this nurse with Yvonne Curran says, do you ever have fun? And I looked at it and I thought, why are you here? I've never had a doctor's appointment with the nurse there. What, are you a witness? And I said, having fun will be to recover. Why are you here? To say what? To have the doctor's back? To be a witness to something? Well, you both will lie about the situation. I just need to see an accurate medical record, because that was the time when she didn't even write in any notes in her medical record that day. I said, I had an appointment with you. You didn't want to put in there that I asked you, why did you send me to a pill mill? Why did you not respond to me for months as it was getting darker and darker? And now I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is suicide. Yep, I've been reporting no suicidal inclinations. And then one day I said, yeah, it's happening because coming here, this is creating suicide because of the inaccurate record keeping. The fact that you keep medicating me when I say, I don't take this. My neurologist knows. So why don't you guys get together and discuss that I came here for the behavioral and the dialectical behavioral training. Sorry, the cognitive behavioral training and the behavioral dialectical. Anyway, I said I want to do this behaviorally and cognitively to the neurologist who did write. I found the report that said she's reporting cognition issues. So here we go. Now you can take advantage of that person. All right, let's keep listening. In conversations over and over. So no wonder my head trauma was so much worse. The environment was not a good one. So the best environment for concussions are those that you can speak openly. Like my siblings said, we have gotten into some big rows, but we always make up in the end because you're family, right? Anyway, it's just mind-boggling, the little bits and pieces I've shared. So how am I going to put this in a story format? Well, I got to go through the office first and collect the receipt, and that's going to guide me. So the first step is to start putting things in the right place. places, spaces. And in order to do that, I've decided to, organize everything according to, how many years of grievances? And I just wanted safety. So let's see if we can get that. I hear about the democratic process. Would a law even matter? Is it too risky? Is it even going to happen? I don't know. That's the problem with politics. There's so much hope. But you also realize that change takes time. And that is what Joe Biden does represent. All right, this is a political story. It has to be. Because Ghana was going to end all this trauma, because what I was missing was that one act of care, one act of we care about these students. And the message keeps being, no, we don't. It's all about money. So now that message has been reinforced several times, and I can finally let it go, because that's it. When you witness something, these contradictions and the way these people are, oh my goodness, and the memories on replay, you can finally let it go. So at one point, you want to keep asking, hey, can you... These issues actually affect them, being, multimillionaires in their own way and being on television. So none of it affects them, correct? I feel like that's kind of part of it.
He's a jazz He owns Time Warner and sells CNN. He's the owner. He's the CEO. He was quoted as saying he doesn't care who wins the election as long as the person who wins is good and gets a tax break. All he cares about.
Well, yeah, money. So I guess the argument I'm going to try to make is when you put money in front of everything, do you then, in moments, sell your soul? Because now you put yourself in a corner. There is a corner bakery near Northwestern Memorial Hospital. I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if anyone's going to say, yes, I remember it. There was a corner bakery, but I actively sat there, sometimes for hours. So let's stop there. When I see something, I will say something, and the brain will fill in the blanks. So that K. Why do you think Biden is such an important person who, for him to want to do something so important, which was to stop fascism as we're staring fascism in the face? Aren't the stories of your family talking to you about the Nazis because they sat down with you and described their childhood and what it was like with the air raids and the fear and then just the way the world was back then? I don't know. I remember it and I wasn't there. Because of the way they talked about it and the stories that many relatives here have passed on. But that doesn't mean that their voices are gone or the message that they provided, which was, we don't want a country of fascists. Anyway, KKK, that's the number or the symbol that I see in Twitter. So that was the ultimate goal. That's why who cares about the generations when somebody inspires you? It's all about raising, lifting people up, not putting them down. So we have a population of people out there that will put down kids with special needs because a public school is a mini society. And then we have the people out there that appreciate where they come from and who raised them, and they want to give thanks and just be there for them in their old age as they get older and have a smile and a hug. And I don't know, that just seems so much more lovely. So I'm going to share what I did for Neptune's ex-family, all the philosophy and the belief that I had. And that I do believe that those simple things, spending time and energy, especially as a woman, matter. So I am South Korean. And when people come up to me and tell me I liberated your people, I was in the Korean War, and they know my race instantly, versus other people that come up with me and ask me, hey, do you know a good sushi place? Or I was in China last week for business. Or, hey, how was that yoga class? And I'm thinking, I don't take yoga, but I get it. You don't recognize me. I'm not the person you think I am. What is that? It's just something that, again, I had a preview of from this one person that I do need to write that letter to. Because I'm looking for ways to rewire my brain, and I'm not losing writing and reading, even though some people have told me to move on. Move on from what exactly? I can't stay in the same place cognitively, emotionally, and socially. There's no way. You need to get back out there. And those are the experiences that will absolutely change the brain for the better. I'm hoping now that I will put this on Always Learn Something New. Always is the generalization, and that'll be the first thing that I write about. Right now, I'm going to share that session that they basically said what they do with the corner bakery. And that's at 5 minutes 28, 7 minutes 12, 9 minutes 16. And those will be the 3 places for the podcast. Next, I'll divide them into 2 minutes 20 seconds. I'll talk about it, and then hopefully I'll do something a little more, less chit-chatty, more visual, and what the purpose of film really is, to make you think differently. Media was how my family exposed me to really tough ideas and situations in history that they didn't want me to forget. And it matched the real life because we go find those historical places in libraries and museums. And I got to explain it to someone who asked, who was curious, who knew me before injury, and who now knows me after injury, but remembers me. That is really valuable. So if you have someone in life who just wants you to be successful, who is happy for you and will be there for you in the greatest capacity as a friend
or an advocate, somebody who will bring you facts and not BS you, not tell you what you want to hear, treasure that person. Because I was a teacher and I said I'll be your friend until the end. And I'm serious. I took everything from my life and put it into education, and why I'm also going to take everything back out of education that I put into life. I'm getting pretty tired, so I think this might be the end of the speaking part. There's 8 minutes and 30 seconds left, but that part is going to be in the podcast, so I don't need to repeat that. And the bits and pieces that I did find, because the universe aligned, check out the first minute of the video if you don't remember, but I just randomly chose things. That's how everything was created before. I don't know the date when I stopped making those videos, but I did know that American politics was triggering me, and that's Trump, because he too much was like this family that I got to see behind the scenes of insane greed. And why, if you can change things in your community, you're lucky. But in some cases, you want to change things federally. And also because trauma is not indiscriminate. It affects everyone. Why wouldn't anyone want all the best chances to meet their full potential? And that's why I will end with this worksheet that I found. It is talking about the essential characteristics of an experiment. The experiment is the most powerful method in science. That's why this is a methodology. The experimenter begins with a hypothesis, a testable statement about the relationship between two variables. The hypothesis may come from a theory, a set of interrelated propositions about some phenomenon. I'll practice reading that later. But just know that I'm the control. I'm the same with everyone, and everyone around me is the thing I'm noticing. What's this about? And it seems like the connective thread is two things. Well, using optics, using emotional instability to avoid questions, and being able to turn off remorse and just change the narrative. So individuals like that, I'm going to say no thank you to. You don't display self-regulation, self-control. So my body is not going to be around you, and I do not force my body to do anything that it does not want to do. That's what you ingest. That's the drugs you take, whether they're prescription, recreational, whatever. It's food, drink. It's also how you treat each other. I think it's the golden rule, consent. It's obviously that intimate stuff, and while I'll talk about enthusiastic consent and the 3 times I said no to someone. Absolutely not. But I kept my face very still, and we discussed it. Is this something that you need in life? And the reasons why I'm reliving it exactly verbatim, there's a purpose for PTSD. It comes in like a movie, didn't you know? All right, I'm done with this flow. 7 minutes already? I could be doing this forever and not get through the office and the paper trail. And that means I gotta get ahead of this. Otherwise, they will truly win. I cannot explain this experimentation, scientific method. I can't do it. I just don't have the ability to do it anymore. But what I can do is share what I'm looking at, and you can read it. You can apply what you learn to your life and make it better. And if you apply the rules of what I'm trying to teach you in my 3rd and final curriculum, then don't bother me. That means you have the tools to be successful, like a teacher, because I don't want to be out there in the spotlight. It's not safe for me in a world where, quite frankly, my weakness is that I forgive you and I believe you and I just want you to be happy. Like I said, a true friend till the very end. I'm going to explain how I got through 3 rounds of trauma, once in every decade of my life. So I'm in my early 40s now, and I swear goodness, if I have another set of trauma, I don't think I'm going to make it. So we're going to move slowly through the next steps, be super safe. Because quite frankly, there are people out there who love me, and they would be very upset if something happened to me. And that's why this person said, you did such a good job vouching for me. They will believe me when they push you off that cliff. I didn't fall. I float. Defy the laws of gravity. That sounds like a song, doesn't it? Anyway. I am willing to lose all the songs. I made a record of everything that helped trauma. So good luck finding it. And now I need to let go of everything so I have the mental and brain capacity to do the next step, which is to figure out who to connect with, change policies. And it's not for me. No, I'm scaredy cat. But I want it to be for you and my nieces and nephews. They get a right to live in a world with consent. Thank you. All right, I just saw Deadpool. And the 3 memories are the scene outside the door for the birthday party when he thought it was, strippers. And saying, I'm warmed up to pegging, but Disney isn't. The moment when Wolverine, when the finger's in his head, and she's trying to mind fuck him. He's like, she didn't say that. You're tricking me. So trust your memories, trust your body. Gosh, Ivy, she really felt strongly about that one. And of course, the 100% integrity bar. The only 3 things I remember. So to me, that was a successful day at the movie. So I'm doing my own progress monitoring. And somebody has this obsession with, you care too much about the people around you. I'm like, oh. So now we're going to make a list of all the little hiccups of what people might say when you're trying to explain this process, because it's not about caring too much of what they say. It's using their behavior to make decisions to then, you know, prevent things in the future. Like, for example, you have a very nosy neighbor. Then I have to tell somebody, hey, you're going to hang out at my place for a bit? Sounds good. You're going to hang out at my place for a bit. And, you should know, I have a nosy neighbor. You care too much. No, really move away from that emotion. You have to identify it, and you also have to realize if people can't immediately say like, oh yeah, you're right. I am kind of focused more on something that you're not saying, or you're jumping to assumptions. When it's like, yeah, you're trying to prevent something. It's all about preventing. That's why with little kids in my, that's why teaching primary special ed, it really was about preventing those major mental health issues and, quite frankly, the future where kids shoot up schools. Why do you think they do it? I guess we should explore this now, because my student did say, I want to make the gun choice. Here's the first awareness of it. I took a photo of it. My adrenaline went up, and the strategy is to squeeze. You're going to love this visual next. Thank you.